Hello there, and welcome to a few battles from the Great Tournament 2, which recently ended. Thought I'd show you a couple of the better replays that I have. And there were more, but unfortunately people aren't always good at saving replays, so I don't have all the ones I wanted. But this was a pretty good one between Blink and Magnus. Let's take a look at Blink's empire here. He's got spearmen up front with great swords behind. That's most of his front line. He's got some spearmen at the back protecting his artillery with some demigryphs and Altdorf Gryphites. So lots of power in this army. He's got Balthazar Gelt up on a mount. And then a couple of missile units bravely out front. Going to try and land a few shots early, I think. And he's playing defensively. He's sitting up on a hill with his artillery, letting the chaos come to him. Now Magnus, he's got some aspiring champions. 2 units way out front of the rest of his army. We'll get to that in a second though. The main bulk of his army is Forsaken. Lots of speedy Forsaken. He's got some trolls in there as well. So he's gone very speed heavy. He's looking to move fast. Doesn't want to be the typical slow chaos. He's also got a normal manticore, a death priest on a manticore, and his lord on a manticore. So these ones being out front, they're so far ahead it seems like he's made a mistake, but I think what he's trying to do here is compensate for the speed. Because the Forsaken are so fast, they're going to outrun the aspiring champions if they all started in the same place. So I think he's putting them out there early to try and keep up with the rest of the army, because they're going to be a bit slower, but they are taking a fair old hammering from missiles already. But they only need a few to be useful. They can still fight well, even at half health, and they can inspire the rest of the army. Manticore's coming in, being focused by the cannon a little bit. But for the most part, Magnus just pushing up fast, not hanging about. Wants to get involved with this Empire army before he takes too much artillery or missile fire. He's pushing the missiles back now. He's going to engage the front line, which is only spearmen. They're not going to hold fantastically against all these Forsaken and the aspiring champions as well. But the great swords are moving up. They could be a little more problematic for all of those Forsaken, but the trolls could make the difference in beating them. So it's going to be a frontline massacre. He's ploughed a lot of units into the front line. Maybe he's trying to just blitz through the front line, but he is missing a lot of opportunities to get through these gaps, maybe flank, as he does have the front line unit numbers advantage. Blink still leaving his demigryphs back, not bringing them in just yet. Not sure if he has a plan with them or whether he's just missing an opportunity. Some of the spearmen starting to break for the front line, but that's going to allow the great swords to come forward. Magnus getting after the witch hunter here, doing a nice bit of damage to him, but the Gryphites are coming in. So chaos absolutely running through the Empire front line. Demigryphs and Gryphites are finally arriving, but a little bit late on the uptake there from Blink. Needed to get them in a little bit sooner, I think, to help that front line, or at least to try and flank around the back of that front line and put some hammers on all this Forsaken, because they probably wouldn't have done too well from that. But the Chaos have absolutely destroyed the Empire front line, which is a common theme. Witch Hunter's gone, but a Manticore is gone. The handgunners, mostly the ranged units, still around, not routed yet for the Empire. The Chaos a little bit clumped up. Could spread this out and get a bit more pushing on the enemy. Could end this very quickly if he pushed up on all those missile units, but he's clumped himself up quite a bit. Some spearmen left at the back there. This could all be pushing forward. Here it goes. So he's routed the Chaos Lord General, and he's sending Balthazar to try and finish him off, or to try and chase him off the map at least. The artillery still blasting away at him, so the Chaos losing their Lord by the looks of it. This could give the Empire just enough to hang on. Gryphites charging around, but there's still lots of Forsaken in pretty good condition. They're getting after the missiles now. It's looking pretty bleak for the Empire. Just Forsaken everywhere. These silver bullets and things are going to get smashed up. The artillery's done for, so all that's pretty much dead. It's going to be just the Gryphites left, and any returning units that have already been routed. These great swords still got a little bit of juice in them, but for the most part have been heavily depleted. But the Chaos have as well, and we all know the Chaos love a mass rout, so you never know what could happen here. Chaos just overrunning the Empire at present though, and Balthazar returning. I'm not sure if he meant to chase the Chaos Lord off, but he hasn't quite done it. He's quite a ways away from the edge of the map. Perhaps Blink didn't like putting his Balthazar Gelt all the way out there by himself, so far away from the rest of the army, because they kind of need his help right now. So maybe he was giving up for that reason, or maybe he thought he chased him off. Either way, Balthazar is back, and the Chaos have destroyed everything. So what do you do here as the Empire? You're in trouble. There's lots of Forsaken left, some of them not in bad health. He's got his cavalry though, his demigryphs and his Gryphites still around. Manticore there, not a big worry. Balthazar coming in, going after a Manticore. He's nearly dead, to be fair. He could finish that one off. So it's pretty much down to the Gryphites now. He's targeted some trolls that have their back to him. Yeah. I don't know if it picked that up. Did you just hear the cat meow? There was a very high-pitched cat meow just went off. That was one of my cats. That was not the demigryph charging noise, I assure you. But it's looking bleak for the Empire, but they do have some units returning. A couple of units coming back here, reforming. Looks like he's pulling his units back a little bit, trying to get them together. Some missiles coming up here. They could be pretty advantageous right now, as there's nothing that could really chase them down very quickly. But Blink trying a cheeky little tactic here. He's flown his Lord in, which has forced all these units to clump up, and then he's going to try and launch a bombardment spell, but because he runs away, it makes all the units run away, and unfortunately for him, it mostly misses. That could have been a huge game changer if that had landed nicely. So a cool little plan, but didn't quite come off. Empire reforming now. Some great swords in there, a couple of spearmen, a few units pulling back together. He's bringing the demigryphs back. He's got some champions isolated. Should be able to take them out. They're nearly dead. So Empire looking to reform and make one last push to try and take this out. It's become a little bit two-sided now. All the Empire is on one side, all the Chaos is on the other, and they're going to try and clash all up in the middle. So we'll see who can survive this. Balthazar going after the Lord. He's got the health advantage, so he can probably get away with that. Aspiring champions coming up. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a close one. Getting some hammering on the Lord. If he can get rid of that Lord, that could be pretty huge and could be the end of the Chaos. He's routed him. Can he kill him? Chaos and Empire clash on the front lines. Here come the great swords. It's all coming down to this. The Empire got run through early. Can they survive and turn things around in the last second? Taking out that Lord. Oh, here come the demigryphs. Oh dear. That's pretty bleak for the Chaos. Magnus in trouble. Wavering from the Chaos. Bit of wavering from the Empire. But there it goes. The mass rout from Chaos. White flags. White flags everywhere. So Blink able to scrape together his remaining forces for one last push, which just about managed to beat the Chaos. Taking out the Lord, of course, helped. A lot of Forsaken kills, though. They did well, of course. A lot of Empire infantry, not really going to stand up to much Chaos slapping. But quite a big difference in army size, but there you go. A good little battle, a good turnaround. It looked like it was over early and an easy win for the Chaos, but the Empire managed to hold on and come back. Now, for a very quick little battle, Outer Region versus Sokol. This is their second match, and it's Beastmen versus Wood Elves. Now, this one, honestly, it's not much of a battle, but it is just something to see. And when this happened, it was pretty shocking to everyone who was watching. So, Beastmen here have Vanguard deployed. Their deployment zone ends about here, and the Wood Elves one about there. So you can see he's Vanguard deployed. A lot of his forces all up in the Wood Elves' face. Mostly Goreherd, Blackhorn's Ravagers in there, and some Harpies around. And then behind, he's got a whole bunch of Centaurs directly behind the enemy army. So he's going for some heavy envelopment here. Going for a very cheeky Vanguard build. Similar to one I've banged on about in a few videos, I'm sure. But this is a good little Beastmen build. It's a good one for catching people out. And that's exactly what it does here. Sokol got a couple of Treekin up front. Not sure why he's only got 2 though. Maybe could have used a few more. Those ones were never really going to hold that entire pass. Just not enough. There's just holes everywhere, allowing this Goreherd to go straight through and get after the infantry and missiles. The cavalry, meanwhile, is coming straight for the missiles. 2 units on each one. They're getting absolutely slaughtered. They are wavered and routed very quickly before the Asteroid Spear War Dancers can even get there to save them. And then the Centaurs are going to push on and hit all these War Dancers in the back and everything else. And it's going to be pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting for Sokol. He's getting thoroughly beastmened. And he's got a couple of units out here, actually. He obviously had a sneaky plan of his own in mind, but unfortunately, it was a little bit too late for him. A couple of Deepwood Scouts and a Waywatcher back there, Waystalker even. But yeah, you can see the Wood Elves have been thoroughly battered. So this is just a good example of a few things. One, of a Vanguard deployed army and how strong they can be and how quickly they can destroy enemy armies. 2, on the kind of luck involved in Total War. It just so happened Sokol was in a terrible position to defend this, and there's nothing he could really do. And it's just bad luck that he positioned that way. You never know what anyone's going to do. You don't know that someone's going to Vanguard deploy all up in your face. So it is a hard one. He obviously thought he had a bit more time, and he would have been able to rearrange his units somewhat, but oh no, he didn't. Outer Region was all up in his face. He could have put his army back a bit further, Sokol. He could have positioned off to one side. That would have made a huge difference to everything, and this battle would have played out potentially very differently. Just a bit of bad luck for Sokol, but a ballsy play by Outer Region, and it came off, so well played to him. This was the second one that Outer Region won, so he won this match in the tournament. Their first battle was really close though, Dwarves for Sokol and Skaven for Outer Region. That was a very close battle, came down to the wire, but Outer Region managed to take it, which meant Sokol was out of the competition with this win. But like I said, not exactly a high-level battle by any means, but just a spectacle to behold, especially when everyone was watching it live on stream and everyone was like, oh shit. So it was pretty fun to watch in the moment. Poor Sokol, he had to endure it, but well played to both. The power of the beast reigning strong there. Now, if you do want a higher level of play battle, then Koukin versus Mookkin, their final battle was a damn good one. These are both top 100 leaderboard players, so they both know the game well, they've played it a lot, they know what they're doing. This was their third and final battle of their best of 3. Koukin as the vampires and Mookkin as the chaos. So this is going to be mostly an infantry war, I was expecting, as there's no missiles or skirmishing for either of these factions really. So we've got vampires and chaos. Mookkin's army pretty small, although Koukin's isn't that big either. Let's have a look at his first. So he's got zombies out front, a little bit upgraded as well, probably had some money left over. He's got the Sternsman, some Graveguard, and some more Graveguard. Not armor-piercing Graveguard, interestingly, against the Chaos. He's got the Claw of Nagash, a nice terrorizing regenning unit, and not a lot of ways to deal with it for the Chaos. Really, missiles are the best way to take that thing down, but of course the Chaos don't really have any. The Red Duke on a dragon, flying bats? Yep, flying bats as opposed to walking bats. Imagine that as a unit. It sounds terrifying, actually. Loads of tiny little bats running after you. He's got some Blood Knights and a Terrorgeist as well. So air superiority reigns for the vampires. Chaos not going to have a lot of ways to deal with that. As I mentioned, Mookkin's army, pretty small. He does have a little bit of range though in 2 units of Horse Masters. Got some skirmishing power. Going to need it to try and deal with those flying units just a little bit. They're not going to do fantastically against them, but they'll do something. He's got Chaos Warriors with great weapons. Chosen Halberds. Very expensive. Going heavy on the anti-large. More Chaos with great weapons. And some Chaos Warriors without great weapons. And then a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. And another Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. So 2 Shaggoths. And then Archaon is his lord. Got that fire spellbook. Going to be useful against the vampires. So Mookkin playing it cool. Staying back in no hurry. Seeing what Koukin does with these flying units. He's got bats in there. Terrorgeist coming around one flank. Got to be careful with the Horse Masters. The Terrorgeist will probably eat them up fairly easily if he lets them. Some of the stuff pulling back. Doesn't want to get too close. So Mookkin holding back. Not in any hurry to rush up. He's got to be careful where he commits his forces because he doesn't have a lot of them, so he can't afford to throw away units and waste them. Blood Knights coming in across the front. Not sure where they're going, just taunting things. Dragon Ogre coming after it for Mookkin. They're not really going to get out of the way quick enough. Fireball coming in. Aimed at the Claw of Nagash. Gets a hit, does a nice bit of damage. Does nearly a quarter of its health. It is going to regen, of course, but got to knock off that health and get rid of that regen as much as possible. With the Red Duke coming in above the Chaos Army, he's getting hammered by Horse Masters and taking a bit of damage, but he's dropped a nice breath attack on the Chosen, done about a quarter of their health in damage. So just whittling away at each other here. Of course, these units are going to regenerate for the vampires, that's their advantage. Chaos lacking such a thing. Here come the old Blood Knights into the Chaos Warriors, but the Shaggoths are going over. Koukin not silly enough to leave them there. Didn't really do much damage to the Chaos Warriors, but did escape the Shaggoths. Another Fireball hitting the Claw of Nagash. Again, whittling it down, doing a nice bit of damage. It's his best chance of trying to deal with that thing because he has no missiles. But the Terrorgeist and the Red Duke coming in on Archaon here. They've got him a bit tied up. Mookkin going to need to pull his Shaggoths back to try and save him because he could be in a spot of bother. Reduced his melee defense as well. That's pretty dangerous for him. He needs to try and escape, but he's in there just throwing down with Terrorgeists, not giving a fuck. Bringing the Horse Masters in. Maybe to try and tie them up a bit, because here comes the Shaggoth. Going to try and get some hits off on the Lord. He's done a bit of damage to the Lord already, has Mookkin. Koukin's Lord has taken some damage. He's getting the Invocation now. Archaon's pulling back. And here come the old Chosen. They're going to try and tie up some of these large units, although they've just run straight past one of the Terrorgeists. Maybe they're going for the Lord, as he is obviously a priority target. The front lines are engaging. Chaos Warriors and Great Weapons. The Great Weapons should do okay against these Graveguard, and the Chaos Warriors without Great Weapons will hold well enough. But the Claw of Nagash, going to keep those things healed. He needs to find a way to get rid of that. Does Mookkin. Koukin's Blood Knights still on the prowl for any good targets. The Terrorgeist and the Lord managed to escape, but some nice damage done. Mookkin going to get a hold of these Blood Knights with both the Shaggoths. They're anti-large, of course, so they'll do some nice damage to the Blood Knights. Going to try and get after this Lord again a little bit, but zombies coming up all over the place for Koukin. He spawned a couple of them up already. Just clogging things up, making it difficult for Mookkin to move around too much. But also getting a little bit of a clump on here. 2 Dragon Ogres, Terrorgeist and a Zombie Dragon. It's all going off. There's zombies in there. Archaon's around. Archaon's still pretty beaten up, but he's playing a risky game. He's a brave man. Is he a man? Chaos Lord's men? I don't know. Whatever. Another Fireball coming in. Going to hit that Claw of Nagash. Still getting some nice damage on it, but that regen keeping it afloat. Chaos Infantry still engaged. Some of them have snuck around the back of all the Vampire Infantry somehow, so some nice flanking from Mookkin. Don't know how they got around there in a hurry, as they're not very quick. But Chaos struggling a little bit over there. Still a bit of a Shaggoth large war going on over here. These Terrorgeists getting a little bit hammered. The Terrorgeist is anti-large, of course, but so are the Shaggoths, so it's probably a bad one for the Zombie Dragon. It looks like that's who he's focusing. Not really too fussed about the actual Terrorgeist just yet. If he can get that Lord dead for the Vampires, that's probably going to be game over for Koukin, so that is his priority. The Chosen in there now as well, getting after that Terrorgeist. Another Fireball, I think, on the Claw of Nagash. He's going to waver it, going to start to crumble it down. Archaon's going after it, wants to finish it off. That is an important piece of kit for the Vampire, so if Mookkin can get it dead, it's going to give him a better chance of winning. And he does. You saw it explode in the distance there. The Sternsman and the Graveguard holding okay, though. Chaos Infantry slowly getting worn down as well. But again, more zombies coming up. Still all to play for in this battle. The Chosen still in pretty good nick. So are the flying units for the Vampires. So it's anyone's game at this point. It's very even. Still some good Chaos Infantry left. A lot of the Vampire Infantry, it does look like there's a lot of Vampire Infantry, but a lot of it is zombies, you have to remember, so there's not always really as many numbers there as it really looks like. But there are some Graveguard and Sternsmen. They're all getting a nice heal there, a nice invocation of Nehek. Mookkin trying to choose his targets wisely. He's got a few units to come back. Doesn't want to rush into anything. Here comes the Red Duke again, getting after one of the Dragon Ogres and the Terrorgeist, trying to 2-on-1 him. Some more zombies coming up, but here comes the other Shaggoth. So we're going to get that 2v2 again. That monster 2v2. Terrorgeist for the Vampires still in very good condition. Only the Red Duke has taken some damage for those two. This Graveguard and stuff been healed well. The Shaggoth's starting to run out of steam. But they got some nice damage on the Lord. He's going to escape though probably. Nothing in the way to really slow him down. It's very easy for him to get off the floor. Again, lots of Vampire Infantry, but mostly crappy zombies. Blood Knight stuck in here, getting crumbled. They're going to be crumbling away pretty soon. Archaon's still around, of course. He's not dead yet. Constantly seems to have less melee defense than he should. But here comes the Red Duke trying to take advantage of it. And of course, because Archaon is on the horse, he's not going to get knocked around so easy, which makes him more susceptible to actually taking damage. But here come the Shaggoths protecting Archaon again. It's really all about these large units. The Terrorgeist wavering here. Still has plenty of health, but they're going to make him crumble a little bit, which is going to help. He's going to run away though. Very quick, very easy to get away from him. Shaggoth's on his tail, but he manages to escape before a Dragon Ogre cuts his tail off, literally. Still a very even battle. You can see the favor bar pretty much still bang in the middle. The infantry still throwing down. The Graveguard and Sternsmen still holding in there. Some of the Chaos wavering a little bit, but they've still got the better infantry left, so it's all to play for still. One of the Shaggoths is nearly dead though. One's okay. A nice breath attack coming in here. Gonna land nicely. Hit some of those great weapons. Maybe the Chosen as well. Chaos Infantry getting a little bit hammered now. Wavering all over the place. Lots of Vampire units wavering though. So Koukin in trouble as well. No fear from Archaon. Mookkin throwing Archaon into the fight even though he's not in the best condition. All he's got to do is be careful of those large units and he should be able to keep him alive. One of the Shaggoths routed and it has come back though. Just needs to bring it back to the fight, which I'm sure he will soon. So it's coming down to the wire now. The end game clump. The Red Duke thinking about coming in after Archaon, but thinking twice after seeing that Shaggoth stood there waiting for him. Sternsman holding on. The Terrorgeist back in there. Probably desperately trying to get Archaon dead because he knows if that happens, it's pretty much game over for Mookkin. Mookkin got to try and hold on, try and get as much crumbling done on them. The other Shaggoth came back, but it went away again. It's all very close. Shaggoth and Terrorgeist having a little dance. Oh, but here comes... Oh, Red Duke sneaking in again, trying to land a cheeky hit. Here's Koukin. There's Terrorgeist and Shaggoth throwing down. Koukin being a bit cheeky with his Lord. Flying him down, trying to land a quick hit and then flying back out again. But he's landed now. Coming in after Archaon. Terrorgeist on him as well. Archaon in a bad way. Oh... But the Horse Masters are there to try and help out, but Archaon is finally wavering. I don't think he's broken yet, but now he has. He's still alive though, so he's not out of the game yet. The Shaggoth coming to try and save him. Archaon desperately trying to escape, but his Chosen are coming back. His Chosen with halberds will be able to protect him. That'll allow him to run through and tie up the Terrorgeist, but oh no, Koukin, too smart for it, has gone over it. He's just going to fly straight over those Chosen and get Archaon and try and rout him straight off the map. The Shaggoth going to try and stop that from happening. The Red Duke chilling back, but the infantry is pretty much one for the Vampires. Only just Chaos a little bit outnumbered there, but Archaon has gone down. The Ever Chosen has fallen, and with that, it's pretty much going to be a good game for Koukin because he doesn't have enough left, does Mookkin, to hold on. One of his Shaggoths still in really good condition, and some of his infantry just sticking around, but those two flying units are just going to pick him apart. They'll never be able to get hold of them. Although the vampires are severely beaten down, maybe there's a chance he could terrorize things, I don't know. But it's probably very unlikely. But here comes the Shaggoth. Coming in. No, he's thinking about it. What's he doing? He's going to try and rout off those Sternsmen. See if he could pick these apart. If the Shaggoth could hold on, he might be able to do some damage. But that Terror guy's going to be straight on top of him. And then the Red Duke probably coming in. Is he coming? No, Red Duke chilling out. Some zombies going to come up, maybe. Going to try and pin that Dragon Ogre in. And that's going to put a little bit of a leadership debuff on him, maybe. Just that attacked in the rear penalty might be coming in. And there goes the chaos. White flags start to show. A damn close game for Mookkin and Koukin. And this is the battle that put Koukin through, which eventually got him through to the final. So he managed to beat a strong player in Mookkin. It was a damn close battle. As I mentioned, Mookkin went for a small and powerful army rather than a big one. Lots of kills for most of his units. Shaggoth's obviously hunting those large units most of the time. But a tougher fight for Mookkin. For the Chaos fighting the vampires, that's probably a tougher end for the Chaos to deal with. And Koukin, some good kills on his Graveguard, his Sternsmen. Blood Knights didn't do a great deal, but maybe they were fighting the Shaggoths a little bit. And then same with some of the other large units. But there we go. A few battles from the tournament. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the tournament if you followed it. If not, here's a few of the cool battles from it. Like I say, there were some other ones that were really good, but unfortunately I couldn't get the replays for them. But I thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll see you in the future.